Hi, my name is Tiffany Neal, and today I will be covering the aspect of distribution and the evolution of distribution and how it has affected motion picture filming throughout the years. Film distribution is the process of making a movie available for viewing by an audience. And during the film distribution process, they determine the marketing strategy for the film, the media by which the film is to be exhibited, and when it's released and where it's released, meaning which movie theaters or platforms it's being released on. These platforms consist of movie theaters, televisions, personal home viewing, DVD, video on demand, streaming services, and television programs. Film distribution works hand in hand with film promotion. So if both of these things work together, they will produce a successful film. In 1894, the Holland brothers owned the first kinetoscope parlor. Yet it wasn't until 1895 that a motion picture film was viewed by an audience, thanks to the Lumiere brothers. In 1908, Edison's monopoly over the distribution of motion picture films began. He formed the MPPC, which was the Motion Picture Patents Company. The two main forms of film distribution were states' rights and roadshows. Under state rights systems, films were sold on a local territorial basis. The local salesperson would play the film as much as he or she wanted, and they would try to make as much profit off the film as they possibly could. Film copyrights would be sold to theaters directly or to franchise salespersons. They were sold by the foot, starting out at 10 cents a foot. Under the roadshow system, producers would enter into an agreement with each theater. This system would give priority over films to the more famous theaters and the biggest ones. This system ran off of ticket sales, and that's how they made their money. Yes, this method did make producers a lot more money. An example of a roadshow is The Birth of a Nation in 1915. In 1915, Edison's trust came to an end as well, and by 1917, the United States Supreme Court dismantled the MPPC as an illegal trust. Edison's reign was over. By 1924, United Artists, MGM, Warner Brothers, and Columbia formed as studios. And in 1930, television, and this was the start of a new era. Meanwhile, independents rebelled against the major distribution companies, refusing to give up their creative rights to the big five studios, Paramount, Warner Brothers, RKO, Fox, and MGM, which led to the end of the studio systems and the consent decree of 1948. By the 1950s, independent companies like Walt Disney Productions were growing and distributing films at a rapid rate. By the 1960s, television was used to promote films, and it was considered a resource during this time. In the 1970s, the videotape changed the film industry because it also introduced a new way to distribute films to the mass. By the 1980s, the release window system was a time frame a movie had to release to saturate each market at different times, which was also considered a standard release, versus simultaneous release when a movie hits all markets at the same time. In 1985, Blood Cult was the first direct-to-video film, which led to, in 1991, Wax, or The Discovery of Television Among the Bees by David Blair, was the first internet release. Featured films were being released straight to YouTube by 2008, which lands us in 2015, where a streaming service called Netflix released their first featured film called Beast of No Nation. Now, with more ways than ever to distribute films, there is no reason why any film cannot be distributed in today's market.